Welcome to the GoGCast, brought to you by XSplit Broadcaster, simple yet powerful live streaming and recording. And now, your host, Leah.
Games Podcast. My name is Leah, and I've got a wonderful cast of characters here for you today. This is episode number 55. I want to thank you very much for hanging out with us. On the panel today, we have Miss Catherine Smith-Davier. How are you doing?
I'm good.
I saw you were grinding some DS game there a little while ago. What are you playing?
I'm still on Fire Emblem Fates on Birthright. Gotta get through that, gotta get the DLC, and then gonna play all over again, but this time on the other.
Cool.
Gotta get that shit going.
All right. Allie, I'm loving the specs.
Thank you.
Yeah, you put a review of that up on the site not too long ago.
Did from Phonetic Eyewear. I will actually post a link to it in the chat.
Nice, they're so pretty.
I love them. I love them, guys. Go check them out.
Sweet. And for all you folks out there wondering who that other fourth face is, that is the wonderful Mr. Jason Acevedo from Ubisoft. How are you doing?
Hey, hi everyone. Doing good, thanks.
So yeah, Jason's on here today. We've got so much Ubisoft stuff to cover. This is going to be the Ubisoft-centric episode because we're going to talk about Assassin's Creed. We're going to talk about Far Cry Primal. We're going to talk about Eagle Flight and maybe a little Division as well, because that's the next one on the list.
It's coming up. Yep.
Oh yeah. So I guess life's kind of crazy over at Ubisoft right now.
Yeah, it's it never stops at Ubi. You know, it's busy, but it's cool.
Yeah, sweet. So I actually saw that you had a very fun visitor come.
Yeah, we did. Mr. Prime Minister showed up at Ubisoft, which is really funny because I was in Ottawa actually demoing Far Cry Primal with the Entertainment Software Association of Canada. So once a year we get there and then we demo our games on Parliament Hill. And I think everybody was kind of expecting that Mr. Prime Minister would show up, which obviously he didn't. And then the very next day, as I'm driving back to Montreal, I get all these notifications about Mr. Trudeau being at the studio. So I'm like, oh, no wonder you weren't in Ottawa the day before. So now I'm kind of making a personal case where I'm going to be, harassing him on Twitter and asking for a one-on-one on Just Dance eventually. So we'll see what that takes me.
I volunteer as tribute to go film that.
We'll see. But yes,
we want to see that live. Get that
exclusive accent. But yeah, no. But I was thinking about it. I'm like, hey, I'm going to challenge him like the entire year, and then I'm going to try to make it into a viral thing for next year. So who knows? But no, it was nice to see him there. Obviously, whenever Mr. Prime Minister walks around, there's always a horde of people, whether it's media or it's. So it was kind of a frenzy to see my Facebook feed just explode with Justin Trudeau photos at UB Montreal everywhere. So that was
Can I
cool.
just say, he looked like an absolute kid in a candy store in those photos.
Yeah, I mean, he is a self-aware nerd, really. Like, he loves all technology, video games. I know that he's a big fan of Star Wars and stuff. So it's definitely refreshing to see such a high-profile character in politics, being of that generation of,
Knowledgeable about what's actually going on. Yeah, it was really cool to see like the big smile on his face. It was nice.
It was cool. Yeah.
Yeah, we actually saw one of the photos he had on a headset, virtual reality headset. I'm not sure which one he had on his face, but he looked like a kid in a candy store. He had smile from ear to ear. Was he playing Eagle Flight?
He was, he got a demo of Eagle Flight from what I gathered. So, yeah.
So what is Eagle Flight all about? You got to fill me in on that.
Well, I mean, we haven't really went into more details. I mean, it's launching sometime this year for different VR platforms, including the PlayStation VR and the Oculus Rift.
Okay.
So it's basically an Eagle simulation. So I was speaking with the game director, and he was explaining how he got the idea of flying through a dream that he had, and how he wanted to give the experience to the users on how to experience real eagle flight. And that was pretty much what the premise was at first. Obviously, they've been working on it for quite a while now, so the next final product will be much more different for the prototypes that I got the chance of trying. But yeah, it's really like an eagle flight simulator going around Paris, and it's interesting. I mean, I've never been so much into VR in the past, but now with all these new technologies and demos that are coming out, and to actually go to the work and try one was actually quite the experience for me. And after that, it was like some dogfight stuff, like and do multiplayer 3 versus 3 type of thing. So, but yeah, no, it was a cool tech demo. I know that we demoed it last year at E3. We showed at GDC also. Still in terms of prototype, and the response was quite positive. So very much looking forward to share more as we delve into 2016.
Yeah, I'm really excited to try it. I've really enjoyed most of the VR that I've had a chance to go hands-on with.
Speaking of VR, also our team at Funhouse is also working on another VR side project with Elijah Hood as well, which I'm sure that you guys have heard and seen. So he was actually at the studio the same day Justin Trudeau was there. So it was kind of like, Frodo and Prime Minister coolness was in the same building.
I feel like we've changed jobs, Jay. Like I'm at UB and you're at Shome.
But yeah,
here.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you get to meet Patrick Stewart and stuff like that. Yeah, so now you know how it feels.
I'm geeking out at your photos, being like, yay! So awesome. The thing I really like about the tech demo that they've showed in the videos for Eagle Flight is that it actually looks like Assassin's Creed. Like I don't know if they modeled it after that. Like the way Paris looks kind of has the same feel. Maybe it's the color tones, that sort of thing. And just like the reference with the eagles and the bird flight and the leap of faith and all that kind of stuff. It all interconnects. It's very nice.
Very cool stuff.
Yeah, can't wait to try that out. Another thing that made the news not too long ago was that Ubisoft actually made Forbes' list of best Canadian employers. Number 4.
Yeah, we did. That was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. I mean, I have nothing else to say about saying that I have worked for a cool employer, so that's kind of nice. But it's definitely cool to see that recognition in the industry as top employers and Forbes too, right? Like it's not anyone, but it's good just to hear that we're considered among the best employers. It's not the first time Ubisoft makes that list here in Canada particularly, but to see at a higher reputable outlets and be ranked among the highest ones is definitely something to be proud of.
Yeah, super cool. Just to let everybody in chat know, if you've got any questions for Jason, you can throw them in. We still have, of course, Assassin's Creed, Far Cry Primal, and The Division to cover, which we'll get into shortly. Not going to really talk about news, though I know you guys are probably like, what about all the stuff with Nintendo and Pokemon and all that jazz? We'll hold that for next week, because I want to...
What the hell is a Pokemon?
What is that, right?
Pokemons?
Because
what are Pokemon?
What are those things?
Get out.
I want to monopolize Jason's time and get into as much as possible because we've got an hour and there's so many things because you guys announced that you're not making Assassin's Creed this year. No big October launch day, but you got a movie, so that's all right.
We do have a movie. We have a movie. We have several other projects still. I mean, Assassin's Creed, it is our biggest brand at Ubisoft, and obviously, the team is hard at work on the brand, obviously. We're still releasing games. So we had Chronicles games releasing this year. We had a new mobile experience as well, and obviously the movie. So it's still a big year for Ubisoft, and then we'll definitely have an impactful 2016 also with our new releases that are coming. So
right. So Identities came out last week. Yes. How is that going?
Good, I guess. I mean, we don't necessarily have like the numbers and sales and stuff like that, but it's always good with the Assassin's Creed brand that every time we release something different, whether it's a mobile game or sometimes just the books or UB Workshop stuff, to see just fans go over it and have a good time with it. So that just proves that we have a healthy community, that we have people that are involved, whether are internal or external to Ubisoft. And yeah, just to see people still engage your brand and us continuing to deliver the good stuff. So I think we last time I checked, we were 91 million plus units on Assassin's Creed. So with Syndicate now, we should be getting there to the 100 million eventually. Wow. So it is still like a big achievement for this brand, and we're still so much to do. And like you said, the movie, that's kind of the culmination of basically saying, our brand is so strong worldwide that now we're gonna go beyond its already high mainstream level. And yeah, to see all the hype and to see our colleague Amar, going with the big guys in Hollywood and making sure that the movie looks good. Mr. Fassbender being like super into it, and yeah, definitely it's going to be a good year for Assassin's Creed stuff.
Sweet. So the filming has wrapped on the movie, correct?
Yeah, last time I checked, it wrapped. Now it's in post-production, and yeah, still going for a December release. So.
Any trailers anytime soon?
Eventually.
Can you hear Michael laughing in the background? I don't know what but it was like perfectly timed.
Perfectly timed, right.
So, Becky, have you met Mr. Fassbender?
Unfortunately, I have not met Mr. Fassbender. But I would guess when the movie comes out, I might get something. I mean, I would love that. I mean, yeah, I don't know what would be more interesting to me is to meet him and see him as Steve Jobs, to see him as or character in the movie, or to see him as Magneto. I feel like I might expect him to like levitate something and throw it through the window. I don't know, maybe.
It's gonna be like nerd overload.
Yeah, like all those things together,
Magneto. Hi, Mr. Fassbender. I mean Steve Jobs. I mean Magneto. I mean an assassin. You don't even know where to go. Oh my god. Well, here's hoping that like he gets nominated for another Best Actor through Assassin's Creed.
Oh, well, that would be amazing for sure. But yeah, that'll be fun to see.
Cool. Any plans to do anything fun in Montreal for the premiere of the movie?
Oh, at this point, I don't know. I would love to. I would love to bring Mr. Fassbender to Montreal. Maybe have him bring in the copy to my house, and then we can watch a movie together, have popcorn.
You can watch X-Men, and then watch
Netflix
movie.
Assassin's Creed, and chill. That's how I would call it.
Chill.
So we can just talk about life. No, but honestly, at this point, it's too early to say. Obviously, I like to do things. Mm-hmm. I'm sure that eventually, if we get the opportunity, we'll get something going. But at this point,
we shall see.
We shall see.
He was in Montreal to film a lot parts of the X-Men movie. Yeah. So you can just be like, remember the food, come back.
Remember the food and the nice people, come back.
Remember Montreal? Yeah, I got plans. Yeah.
Oh my, it's gonna be a big year for Assassin's Creed, even without a full-on big launch game. It's the premiere. Do you know if like the premiere of the movie, the proper premiere? Is that LA, New York? Don't even know.
I don't know.
Don't they usually happen in LA, or did they like move them around? Movie premieres?
Well, most of the time, most movie launches, they usually have like a European premiere and then Asian premiere and then a North American premiere. Most of the time, like whenever I see Hollywood doing premieres, it's always like in a Chinese theater or something like that. But
okay.
I don't know. I mean, it could be at Cinema Latin in middle of December when it's minus 45.
I'll still be there.
I'm pretty sure people will show up for sure. But no, at this point, I don't know. But that might be a question, later down the year to ask to Mr. Amar on Twitter. That might be something. And I'm sure that he already gets like tons of questions about that too. So yeah, I would pimp his Twitter name on Twitter just see what he's doing and then what type of updates he has. And I'm sure that he has already a huge following of people just waiting for tidbits of information. So I would definitely look him up. I think it's Amar MTL, if I remember correctly, on Twitter. So
yeah, so we'll start a Twitter campaign. and totally bombard his phone so that
don't do that. Don't do that. Let Amar work in peace. Let him concentrate on things. But I'm sure that he has already a ton of people pinging him with a bunch of questions. I'm pretty sure. So
I'm sure. All right, if you guys in chat have any questions about Assassin's Creed and the upcoming Assassin's Creed movie to ask Jason, throw them in the chat. We'll put them in the Google Doc and make sure we ask them at the end. I think it's time to move on to some Far Cry Primal.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been loving the game. Been playing a lot. We've had Catalyst streaming on our channel as well. It's been tons of fun. How's the reception been?
Reception has been good. I mean, I think in Canada right now we're above the 80% rate, which is really positive. Sales are also doing well. And yeah, I mean, we had the opportunity of launching a series of short films for Far Cry Primal in Canada. We, for the first time, we decided to basically ask a independent short filmmaker to do, his vision of Far Cry Primal in today's day-to-day, basically. So a really cool, fun experiment that we wanted to see and see what the reception was. And that was also very positive. So that was cool. But the game in general did well. People seem to like it. Obviously, here in Montreal, whenever the game is made in Montreal, there's always a lot of buzz. So that was cool. Also, Ubisoft Toronto was involved in the project as well. So big kudos to those two studios out of Canada. And then, yeah, it's just another cool, fun project to market. And on my perspective, basically, I didn't work on the game, but it was nice to market that game. It was fun. It was different. Obviously, got an opportunity to work with my buddy Elias Defexis as well, who voices Takar. So yeah, that was cool. And then I told him, it's like, hey, now, you have Deus Ex coming up, so have fun with that. But yeah, no, but it was definitely cool. I mean, Far Cry is definitely one of my favorite brands at UB. It has this DNA that it's very different from any other brand that we have. And yeah, I mean, it's a franchise that keeps growing since Far Cry 3, and yeah, it's definitely good to see a positive reception.
You spoke of Elias Defexis, and that was actually one of my big favorite things about the game, was that his voice is so raw. He sounded part animal in the whole process. Like, he has this growl in his voice, and the other language, it's impeccable.
Yeah, I mean, he usually in real life likes to live like a prehistoric caveman. Like
let's start that Twitter hashtag.
He does that, so he was perfect for the role. But no, like you mentioned, also we had the opportunity to work with a linguistic group to create a brand new language and then put it up there, and then have the actors learn it and act it and perform it. So that's definitely something that it's worth mentioning. So shout out to the director at Ubisoft Toronto, David Footman, who basically was in charge of all the performance capture and the directing of the actors with this. I mean, to do performance capture is also something that it's already complex on its own. So to throw in a brand new language to learn also, that's definitely shout out to him and to all the actors involved.
Yeah, I mean, creating 3 languages like you guys did, that could, and having such close contact with them, being face to face with the characters as they're speaking them, that can come off kind of campy, but I mean, you guys pulled it off so well. It feels so real. It feels like they could be actual languages, in the past.
Yeah,
so it's really, cool.
There was a lot of interviews actually that came out in the last couple of weeks about Wenja and all the dialect coaches that were hired in Linguistic Pros to work on that. There's also a cool piece on Discovery Channel that was published last week, where basically you see the host and 2 actors and David Footman basically, getting this Wenja fast masterclass, basically, in terms of what to say, how to act, and all that stuff. So
that's awesome.
It's definitely something interesting that you don't see very often. But I know that other video games before, they created their own languages and stuff like that. But to see it happening, it's definitely something.
Do you know what the learning curve was for the actors to did they have to go into like Wenja training camp?
Honestly, that would be a good question to ask Elias on Twitter for sure.
I will.
But I know that it obviously, it's just as complex as learning, an actual part, right? I mean, it has its own challenges. So throw in a unknown language that no one knows, it's definitely something that is much more challenging. But I wouldn't tell. I know that I would probably suck at it personally. But then I'm not an trained actor. I'm not an Academy Award whatever winner, whatever. But yeah, no. I mean, that would be a good question to ask Elias.
Yeah, but it's not just him. Like the gentleman who played Tensei was really awesome too. I mean, he had the crazy factor, so that helped.
I know.
But like, yeah.
Like I said, I think it's really an effort of actors, and that's what's cool about the casting team at Ubisoft, is that they always cast all these actors that can really go beyond just reading lines off a script, right? Like it's really embodying the character, and with performance capture, it adds that extra layer of I would say realism to what they deliver. So yeah, kudos to all of them.
When you play, do you have an animal that you prefer as your the
honey badger, like
badger?
that muffo is just, yeah. I mean, I like my wolf, obviously, like I really like my wolf, but whenever I have the honey badger, then here we go. I just throw that little fucker around and
yeah, totally.
I'm very sorry I'm sorry to interrupt you guys, but we just got a $50 donation from the Only LLO. So
wow!
Thank you so much for that.
Merci. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That was the voice of God that did not sound like Morgan Freeman.
And we are being rated.
Also, we are being rated by Epic Joystick.
Hi guys, welcome. This is Girls on Games podcast. If you're just joining us, I'm Leah, Kat's over there, Allie's down here, and that's Jason Acevedo from Ubisoft, and we're actually in the middle of talking about Far Cry Primal and talking about the honey badger because he is one badass, and having him on the on your team is pretty awesome. Fighting against him is a pain in the ass though. Trying to capture him,
it does, yeah.
Exactly. Trying to train him, yeah, that's a bit of a pain in the butt. How about you, Allie? I know you're playing right now. What's your favorite one to play with?
I just caught the rare striped wolf.
Ooh.
And I am totally in love with him. And I don't know if you guys saw my tweet, but I basically spend the entire game just sitting there petting him.
That was the first thing. I was like screen grab me petting my jaguar.
Yeah, I find it so much. I was not aware of how big of a part the whole Beastmaster was of the game. I had no idea it was so huge and so integral. And so I'm just having a ball with it. Like I'm just going around catching everything that I possibly can. I have not got a honey badger yet, though.
Oh, you will, and trust me, you won't let that one go once.
He's powerful.
But I saw, what was it, last week? I saw someone on YouTube. They did a compilation that called the Far Cry Primal Petting Zoo, and it was just like a compilation, maybe like a 10-minute compilation of Takar petting all the animals. Like it was just. It was just random. Why was I watching it? I don't know. I was feeling metal that day. But yeah,
it and putting it in chat.
People are doing all sorts of crazy things with Far Cry. It's that. I think that's what makes it the most appealing thing about that brand, is that it's the liberty, the freedom that you get when you can play open world games, and when it's unpredictable AI and stuff like that, people just get a blast of it. So yeah. Here it goes for another Far Cry success.
Well, you know how good the animals are in that game and the sound design around the animals? My dog is freaking out whenever I play. He stands right. You've seen him probably going back and forth, but he stands right here, stares, and growls at the bear all the time. Like I'm riding across country on the back of the bear, and even though like you can't see him in full, like you just see the top of his head, Bowie's going nuts. So yeah, I need to film that one day and post it because it's quite hilarious. All right, let's move on to some Division talk, because that's a game that's not out yet, coming out in a week.
Yeah, coming out next Tuesday.
Like super hooked. So I'm gonna let her roll with this side of the conversations. I mean, okay. I agree with it, but like, I mean, you're the queen of Division right now. You're the one that played the most of it. But yeah, I know you have some questions about microtransactions and stuff. So let's roll into that.
Yeah. So recently there was, an article broke saying that Ubisoft announced that there won't be microtransactions in the game, but instead you guys will be doing everything in the form of DLC. And I was just a little bit curious as to how that that distinction was made and what that means for maybe pricing, like if it's going to affect things like that, or how often we'll be getting cosmetic items if it's considered DLC and not
Right.
microtransactions. I'm just curious.
I don't necessarily know about the frequency of DLC availability. All I know is that we have expansions are planned over the next couple of months when you get the season pass. And for microtransactions, is that you don't get a specific system in game for currency or boosters or
Yeah.
whatever the case may be, because obviously it is a persistent online game, so you want to make it as balanced as well balanced as possible on that end. So yeah, when we say there's no microtransactions, it's definitely just there's no way for you to boost in game. So you've
Okay.
seen that prior, right? When you can
Yeah,
get
exactly.
like a booster for like $3 or whatever in game
Yeah.
that it's not available outside the game, then we don't have that there. So, and for DLC, I mean, to my knowledge, it's pretty much the same thing as any other game that offers DLC packs for, I don't know what the different prices models are. We don't even have anything announced on that end. The game does launch next week, so for that, we'll release more details as we go. Because I need to remind everybody, in case you haven't heard, it is a persistent MMO FPS. So there's a lot of things that are going to happen. Information will be rolled out in the next couple of days, but also once the game launches, the game will be consistent at all times. I mean, I'm sure that a lot of people have played the alpha, the beta, whether it's closed open. I know that we beat a record of beta players. So that was pretty good. So it feels definitely good to see that after a long time, people really got hands-on on the game. And so far, people are excited. So it's a good sign for the future.
Yeah, I mean, the reception seems like it was absolutely amazing. I've been trolling the subreddit ever since the game was announced and, it got set up, and people's reactions to the beta have just been amazing so far. People seem so happy with it, and it's really great to see. Oh yeah, General Zodiac says that 6.4 million people played the beta.
That's impressive.
A lot of car doors were closed in the beta, apparently.
This is a fun fact.
Yeah.
I like the partnership you guys have with Vice to do that, the special show about talking about outbreaks and stuff and how Canada would deal with it. That was quite insightful and a nice way to merge like other types of content with a video game. Did you work on that project?
Yeah, that was definitely a Made in Canada project. Hence why we had a bunch of Canadian experts on the documentary. So it was called Infected. It was something that we did with Vice in Canada. And then, it got a lot of views and it got a lot of reactions, and people really liked that. I think for us, it was mostly, exciting to work with Vice. I mean, Vice are known for their way of covering the different subjects across the globe, whether they're controversial or not. But yeah, we felt like it was a nice fit to work with them on something that creative. And basically just give them a range of here's what the game is about, here's what the subject is, what are your ideas, how do you see that, and just be on co-creative partnership that basically gave a 3-part miniseries that we're really proud of. And like I said, made in Canada. So yeah, that was cool. And we also launched our digital platform, Fall of Canada, where users could actually submit their own art renditions of what would happen if Canada would actually be infected. I think up on this morning, we had 90 plus submissions, something like that, from different users across Canada. So that was definitely cool. And it's when you launch campaigns like that, you realize that your fan base and sometimes just even artists that didn't even know about the division that just got compelled to participate and to submit amazing art. I would recommend to just check out the platform. It's fallofcanada.ca. And you'll see all those user submissions, and some of them are just gorgeous. Some of them I'd actually consider myself, printing them and have them, hang out here at my office because some of them are really nice. And then they realize that I have no talent at all in art. But the point is that it's very cool, and it's just another way for us to engage our fans in a different way and showcase them at the end, which it's probably the best recognition you could get for a fan from a company that you're a fan of.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Speaking of fan creations, there was a fan film that went live, I think, earlier today called The Division Outliers. Has that made its rounds in the office yet?
Yeah, I mean, we saw a couple of fan films. I mean, we always have fan films, whether they're Assassin's Creed, Splinter Cell, or The Division. I think what makes me smile the most is this game is not out yet, right? Yeah. People had a little bit of experience with it through 3 betas. I know that it was showcased at Fan Expo last year. It was at PAX, and we can count the number of times that this game was showcased since it's announced, and to see already a vibrant community that creates content and do fan films, that's something special. I don't remember seeing that prior to any other type of announcement. I know that we had an experience with Watch Dogs as well, where people were like excited that we're creating fan films and all that parkour stuff as well, which was very popular. But no, it's definitely cool to see that for sure. I mean, I'm pretty sure that we're going to see more of that as we get closer to the launch next week, when people actually get an experience, and then they can create much more compelling content. But yeah, it's definitely fun to see fan films, whether you find them by yourself, by research, or you get just an email and say, hey, I just did a fan film, go check it out. And because we do get some emails once in a while, it's just like, hey, hi, I'm a big fan. Here's, I made a video. Thanks. And it's sometimes not even signed. It's just an email with a YouTube link. So that's cool.
Do you think those artworks, you like do a gallery opening, like a vernissage or something, showing something?
I mean, it's up to discussion. I mean, I know that the contest is still running because it is a national contest that we're running right now. And then after that, I mean, we'll see.
Cool.
Just to go back to what you were saying about how you guys worked with Vice and you actually brought in experts, and we're looking at the reality, or the potential reality of a situation like this. I don't know if anybody or everybody in the chat knows, but the Division story is actually based on a real life emergency protocol. Protocol exercise called the Dark Winter.
Well, I personally, I'm not that aware, but all I can say is that whenever we do a game based on the Tom Clancy universe, it's always something that exists, and and this is why whenever we release a Tom Clancy game, there's always some kind of real life controversy that comes out depending on what the subject is, right? And we're gonna give it to because we do have a group of consultants working on the Tom Clancy brand, obviously. So whatever we release a Tom Clancy game, it's always either in a timely manner because we wanted to, or sometimes it's just a complete accident where, I don't know, sometimes they're calling like the wizards of the Tom Clancy brand, because sometimes they get this idea, they start working on it for like 2 years, and then the minute they release it, boom, okay, something happens, like, oh my God. And not just for Tom Clancy, but it did happen with Watch Dogs as well. It happens more than often, and that's just proof how visionary these creative people are.
Yeah, and I played the beta with my significant other, and he's ex-military, and he kept commenting on how realistic certain pieces of equipment looked, and like pointing out certain things, and I was just like, it hit me how much time the team puts into all these little details to make the world in this scenario seem so real and reflect a possible reality.
I mean, one of the core pillars of the Tom Clancy brand is realism. After all, like you have to stay true to the brand and to the name, Tom Clancy as well. So yeah, of course, it comes with a great amount of responsibility to have this high fidelity in terms of presentation, level of realism, narrative as well that has to be included, relevant. And like you said, people that are in the military or whatnot, that they play those games are like, holy crap, like they know what they're talking about because I heard of this or I've seen this or whatever. And that's what makes those games compelling.
It really
I think
does.
that's a nod. I think that's a nod to Ubisoft in general, though, because it's not just Tom Clancy that you see that in. Look at Far Cry Primal, like the time, the effort, the research, the language, looking at the weaponry, everything looked real. Even the structures that were created between like man-made, like sticks and bones and fur and that kind of stuff. It looked real, right? It looked like it had that. It gave you that sense of reality that, so that felt like an actual place, an actual time.
But that and also Assassin's Creed, I think that's probably the biggest example that we can come out of that, right? It's that group of historians and specialists and people that just work tirelessly on making sure that we're as accurate as possible. Obviously, it's still fiction, mind you. I have to really precise of that. It's still fiction, but it's good that in that fiction, there's still some things that you can learn, the things that existed, or things that either were from the past, or just not long ago. But for example, Syndicate and the Industrial Revolution. So yeah, it's just, I think it's part of our DNA, right? It's to give compelling stories through compelling universes.
At the same time, Assassin's Creed and Far Cry have a layer of like fantasy, if you want to put it, with the eagle vision, the leap of faith.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And the hunter, like in Far Cry, like just the whole animal spirit concept is something that wouldn't exist in real life at all.
It just goes to show how far video games have come out. And I can talk for Ubisoft, but I can talk for any other companies out there as well that does amazing experiences in games that can give the same type of kudos, right, on research and being as historically accurate, or even its fantasy. I was lucky enough to meet the doctors Grace Sishuk and Ray Mizuka from BioWare from back then, and having all discussions on how to create universes, even though they're fictional. But it's the level of detail and research that is gone through those games as well, even if whether it's a Mass Effect or even a Jade Empire, or there's a lot of video game companies that do what we do, and I think that's what's great about video games is that takes heart.
Love it. Can we expect nods to other Ubisoft titles in the Ubisoft Club items?
I guess. I mean, I guess. I mean, my favorite, and I don't know if you guys remember, but my favorite was the RoboCop gun in Blood Dragon. So, the game, I don't know, most of you guys may know, Blood Dragon was mainly designed, and the creative director was Dean Evans. Dean has this amazing love for movies from the 80s and the 90s, and particularly him and we have this soft spot for RoboCop and Terminator, obviously, and RoboCop is something that I personally I'm quite attached to. And then when I found out, and this is by total accident, like no one told me about it, nothing, I get my game, put it in, go to the Ubisoft Club, and then I see like the gun can be redeemable, and I'm like, holy crap. And then I go around and said, did you guys see this? So sometimes it doesn't even get to us, that level of fanboyism, I guess how you want to call it. And then I remember playing the entire Blood Dragon game with the gun. That was it. Like, you can give me any other type of gun and I can send dinosaurs to eat people. And I'm like, no, I got my robo gun and that's it. And then it just, So, I mean, nods. Yeah. I mean, there's nods too far to Assassin's Creed and Primal as well. Like, there's some Easter eggs.
Some Easter eggs that we saw.
So, yeah, I mean, these guys and ladies, they work together on different universes, and they like to poke fun at each other at one point. So to say that there's no, there's no callback to another franchise, another game would be an understatement. So it's good. It's good to see that. It's fun.
A quick pause to mention thank you very much to Paul on Games for the $5 donation. We really appreciate that.
Big hearts.
Thank you.
Thank you, Paul.
Jay, that Assassin's Creed hint in Far Cry, I don't know if you who's played it yet. I don't want to let it go, but like,
no, don't spoil it. Don't spoil it.
But once you see it, you're gonna be like,
There are
I was giggling and I was like, oh really? And I was like, why didn't I record that? Oh well.
there are a few there are 2 Assassin's Creed. There is a very clever Metal Gear reference.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course the Far Cry Blood Dragon secret that you guys all need to find immediately.
Yep.
Yeah, there's I love those little nods.
Everybody likes Easter eggs. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Makes us all happy. Makes us all happy. Another question. Do we have a time frame or a schedule for the planned expansions, or are they all TBD right now?
We'll have more announcements to come out, but I know that I think we announced the number of expansions that are going to be available, but I mean, that will be rolled out as we go. But like I said, launches next week, and then we'll have a slew of more details. So stay tuned.
Sweet. We've got a few questions from chat, so
Okay.
they run the gamut here now of...
They better be fun. They better be fun. They better be good.
Okay, well,
questions,
how's
guys.
this is fun? PA2, oh my goodness, why is that so tiny?
Let's just call him PA2.
PA2 says, when are we going to see the Desmond trilogy on next gen? Ooh, so he wants Brotherhood and Assassin's Creed 2 and all that on next gen.
I don't know.
Don't know. We shall see.
I mean, we just released a trilogy of downloadable games on Assassin's Creed.
Not enough, Jay.
Apparently, it's not enough. Apparently, it's not enough. But I mean, if you want to play next gen, I know that Assassin's Creed 2 is playable through backward compatible on Xbox One. So
love that backwards compatibility.
there you
Everybody
go.
needs to play Black Flag.
Yeah, and Assassin's Creed 2 is one of the best in the series.
Damn straight. That's the one that got me hooked.
That was a good one.
It's you. Mm-hmm. That man. Thank you for blowing up the text for me.
Is it big enough now?
It's big enough. Sorry. Guys, this is my first podcast on my new PC. I haven't used a PC for 15 years. So bear with me, please. But no, it's just everything is just that much slower because I'm not used to things. And like, you know how you become like automatic with some stuff and you're just like, key presses and whatever shortcuts. I'm not at that level yet. It's only been like, I got it on Friday. So yeah, we're getting there. Smokey 1413 wants to know, what can we look forward to at E3? I'm hoping to see some more For Honor stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we're working on the show right now, so we don't have more details to share. But you guys already know that we have a couple of games in the pipeline, so stay tuned.
It's gonna be fun. More Aisha Tyler, because that woman's my spirit animal.
Everybody loves Aisha. Everybody loves Aisha. So
is she as nice in real life as she comes across as in everything else?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like Aisha Tyler you see on stage is the Aisha Tyler you see backstage and walking around E3 just, being a geek and having fun. So that's definitely cool.
I have a follow-up question.
Go.
Okay.
How many people at E3 just follow her and go, Lana,
honestly, I don't know. I'm not cool enough to walk around her entourage, so I couldn't really answer that question. But I mean, I will be annoyed if someone would do that to me. So I don't know about her. Maybe she'll get used to it. I don't know. Maybe.
People are odd and do weird things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, remember being at E3 and seeing, Conan O'Brien. I mean, you can't not see Conan O'Brien because he's like 6 foot, a million, and has flaming red hair. But yeah, he had quite the entourage. Like, I mean, he had a circle of bodyguards too. So like, yeah, maybe she does too when she's wandering around.
You know what's
she's
funny?
Badass enough to like handle herself. She's like, someone was annoying her, like turn around, and, like kick him right in the head.
It's true.
The times that I've seen Aisha Tyler walk around her booth for the past 2 years, she was always there with a friend and just walking around. To see Conan O'Brien with a huge security entourage is quite interesting. When I've seen one Steven Spielberg just like walk around her booth freely and no one bothering him. So it's kind of funny how that works, where Conan walks around with 25 security guards, but yet Steven Spielberg is just walking around like it was nothing.
Well, I think he was in full like clueless gamer mode. So like he had like all the cameras and stuff, so it's hard to miss him.
Okay,
right?
that makes
When he's
sense
doing
though.
that
Okay.
stuff. And I mean,
Right.
you can kind of do it if you're Steven Spielberg and you've got like the hat on and you can walk around. But I don't know, maybe he wasn't doing that. But you can kind of go incognito. Some people just can't because they have flaming red hair and are 6'1".
My first E3,
Mhm.
I crossed paths with him at the EA booth when I was journalist back then, and I bumped into him like it was nothing, like some bum. And then I turned around and it was Steven Spielberg, and I felt so bad.
So he goes there like regularly?
Oh yeah, Steven Spielberg is a gamer. Like he loves video games. So yeah, I think I've been to E3 9 years now, and I've probably seen him 4 or 5 times. But I know that he goes there every year. So
Have you had to show him around the Ubisoft booth at all?
No, I didn't have that opportunity yet. But one day, I don't know.
Should
Who
make
have
that
you shown around?
Just be like,
Sorry, one day.
Steven.
Yeah.
Hey,
Who have you shown around the booth?
No more Indiana Jones.
Who
I
else?
have a question for you.
Oh,
Oh,
go ahead.
sorry, about For Honor, just to like go back a little.
All right, go.
since we got
Oh,
distracted.
For Honor.
Go for it.
Okay.
Yeah, so you guys are currently working on that in the Montreal office.
Mhm.
Do you guys like have weapons and stuff coming in and out of the office for like the designers to play with?
You know, all I can say is that the creative director, Jason Vanderbeek, he is a huge sword fan.
Oh boy.
And rumor has it that he has like an enormous collections of swords and stuff like that.
Have there
But
been any
I can't really
accidents?
confirm that. Oh, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. But,
That's why everyone has their Sun card.
but to come back to Jason, I mean, I know that he's a big fan of sword fights, and I think that was his dream game to make. So
Awesome.
he's definitely, I'm sure, putting all that effort into make it as realistic as possible. But I've heard rumors of him like being a big collector of swords of sorts. So yeah, but I have not seen anyone getting mangled or anything like that. I have not.
I can just see I can just see the sign in like the For Honor section where it's like 0 days without sword accident.
That would be, you know what? You should just probably ask the For Honor Twitter account and ask if they actually have a sign for that. That could actually be, I don't know, maybe. I mean, I don't know exactly how many people are working on the game right now, but hey, someone might have just stole that idea somewhere, and it's already probably existing somewhere, but I just haven't seen it.
Well, if you see it around the office, you have to take a picture and tweet us.
Yeah, I guess. I guess.
Oh my. Well, I think that pretty much wraps up everything here for this evening. I don't know if anybody else has questions in chat before we say goodbye to Mr. Jason. It's been wonderful having you on here.
Oh, thank you, ladies. It's been a while too. When was the last time? It was like a year ago, maybe.
Yeah, about this time last year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's a generic question that I put in the doc.
Okay, go for it. Do you want to ask it?
Yeah. So the only one low ask. The last games my girlfriend played was Zelda and Mario on SNES.
Okay.
I want us to play together on our computers. I need a good game to convince her, decent learning curve, and no zombies.
No zombies. Okay.
Oh.
Are the Rayman games on PC?
Wait, so is this person asking for Ubisoft games in general or just PC games?
Just PC games in general.
Oh, and they're looking for a cooperative game?
I guess an online co-op or something he can sit next to her and help her play while she goes through it. Because
Shovel Knight is a good suggestion.
Yeah.
Paul?
They should be playing Hearthstone.
Hearthstone's pretty good too.
Oh yeah, card game Hearthstone. That's a good one.
Why not?
One that doesn't have.
Or Minecraft. That's probably the most the most universal suggestion you can give to someone that wants to get into the world of video games and kind of just play something casual. I think Minecraft is probably the best suggestion.
Castle Crashers?
Oh my god. My kids have been playing Castle Crashers for like a year and a half. And every time I hear Castle Crashers, I go like they're not playing Castle Crashers anymore. Like for a couple of days now, they've been not playing Castle Crashers. It is the first time in a year and a half that I just do not hear Castle Crashers. So
that soundtrack too is very distinct. So I can only imagine that you're like,
it's the same sound effects, and then you hear them, and oh my god, yeah, great game, but my god, my head just cannot compute Castle Crashers right now.
As part of your mandate being a PR representative and stuff, I guess you play most of the games out there to see what the competition is at too, right?
Oh yeah, like I practically play everything, and not just because of work, but also because I'm
You're a fan.
I'm a fan. I'm a big gamer too. But yeah, like right now my pile is I'm still going through my pile of games right now. Like there's a lot of games. I just got Street Fighter 5.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't had time on installing it yet or anything, but like the pile is just huge right now. But yeah.
Yeah, it's actually the January, February months is kind of good because you get a chance to like reflect and play the games that you didn't get to play during review season or big launch season. But now it's all ramping up because you guys had like 3 games launch in the course of 3 weeks, if you count mobile one.
Yeah. So it is a big spring for us actually. Like it's it's good. It's good.
All right. Well, we won't keep you much longer because I know that you're going to be up to your eyeballs for the next week. But thank you so much for joining us.
No, it was a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Anytime you want to come back on and talk video games with us, we are more than game.
Cool. Love it.
Awesome.
Thanks for the invitation.
Thanks to everybody in chat for coming to hang out with us. Thank you, Kat and Allie, for joining on the panel this evening. Thank you, Simo in the background, for being voice of God and technical producer extraordinaire. If you want to learn more about Girls on Games, you can track us down at girlsongames.ca. We broadcast this podcast every Monday night on this Twitch channel at 8 p.m. We do different stuff each week, so it's always a fun evening. If you don't get a chance to watch it live, we post it on YouTube and on iTunes for audio listening pleasures afterwards. But of course, we also play a lot of games on Twitch, and we've got Catless tomorrow night, Pink Smurf on Wednesday, and then City Chan is on Thursday evenings. So yeah, there's lots of cool games to be played, to watch, to interact. If you guys ever got questions for us, you can holler at on Twitter. We're at The Girls on Games. But that's pretty much it. If you need any information on what we do, go check out the website. That's always the place to go. So thanks, y'all, once again for coming to hang out with us. It's been a wonderful episode number 55. Enjoy playing Far Cry Primal and The Division once it's out, and we'll see y'all next week. Thanks so much.
And thanks to Paul on Games and the Only One Low for the donations.
Yes.
And thanks to Big Joystick for the raid.
Yay!